Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24. Text 44. We have been hearing the prayers sung by Lord Shiva. Darshanam no didrikshunam.
Darshanam no didrikshunam
Dehi bhagavatarchitam.
Dehi bhagavatarchitam
Rupam priyatamam swanam.
Rupam priyatamam swanam
Sarvendriya gunanjanam.
Sarvendriya gunanjanam
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Be merciful upon me and show me that form. Only that form worshipped by the devotees can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. In the Shruti or Veda mantra, it is said that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Sarva Kama, Sarva Gandha, Sarva Rasa, or, in other words, is known as Rasovaisa, the source of all relishable relationships, Rasa, the source of all relishable relationships, Rasbihari, Krishna. Each and every one of us has a loving relationship with Krishna. We have various senses, the powers of seeing, tasting, smelling, touching, etc. And all the propensities of our senses can be satisfied when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. Bhakti means engaging all the senses in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesh, Narad Pancharatra. So engaging the senses in the service of Krishna. How can we do that? For example,
Engaging your senses, right, in devotional service, like
yeah,
the eyes are only meant to see Krishna, means the form of Krishna. The
yeah,
tongue is only to speak of Krishna. The hands is to work for Krishna. Whatever you do it for Krishna. And the legs, like where you're going to Krishna.
yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
And the
It's
tongue
to
you speak on.
work for Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. These material senses, however, cannot be engaged in the service of the Lord. Therefore, one has to become free from all designations. Sarvopadi vinurmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. Tat paratvena nirmalam. One has to become free from all designation of false egotism and thus become purified. When we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, the desires or the inclinations of the senses can be perfectly fulfilled. So, Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam, we have so many upadis, so many designations. So, what are some of the designations one may have?
Being a mother,
Yes,
mm,
yes.
being a wife, yeah,
Wife, yes, yeah,
you're working, like supposing you can be a teacher, right?
yeah,
You're working in school.
yes, yes. Teacher, yeah. I'm a human
And
being.
yeah,
That's also a designation because some of us, maybe we are in the form of a tree. We'll think, okay, I'm a tree. You know?
okay, right.
Yeah. I'm
And
sorry, you were saying.
the example that who like which example of person who engage fully, used his senses to engage in devotional service, Maharaj Ambrish.
Yeah, Maharaj Ambrish. Thank you. Yes. So when we engage the senses in the service of the Lord, that helps us to get free from this upadhi,
Hmm.
get free from the designations.
Destination.
Yeah. And service begins with the tongue. We chant the
Yeah.
holy name. We have Krishna Prasad, and with our ears we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear from Bhagavad Gita, and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare.
Lord Shiva therefore wants to see the Lord in a form which is inconceivable to the Bauddha philosophers or the Buddhists. The impersonalists and the voidists also have to see the form of the Absolute. In Buddhist temples, there are forms of Lord Buddha in meditation, but these are not worshipped like the forms of the Lord in Vaishnava temples, forms like Radha Krishna, Sitaram, or Lakshmi Narayan. Amongst the different sampradayas, Vaishnava sects, either Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan is worshipped. Lord Shiva wants to see that form perfectly, just as the devotees want to see it. So he wants to see Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan. Yeah. The words Rupam Priyatamam Swanam are specifically mentioned here, indicating that Lord Shiva wants to see that form which is very dear to the devotees. So we can see here is also evidence that God has a form. Lord Shiva wants to see that form. The word Swanam is especially significant because only the devotees are very, very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, I'm in the heart of the devotee and the devotee is in my heart. It's natural, no? We love someone, we have a reciprocal relation with them. We love them, they love us. It's a relationship. Similarly, the devotees have a personal relationship with Krishna. And Krishna has a personal relationship with the devotee. The Gyanis, Yogis, and Karmis are not particularly dear, for the Karmis simply want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their order supplier. The Gyanis want to see him to become one with him, and the Yogis want to see him partially represented within their heart as Paramatma. But the Bhaktas or devotees want to see him in his complete perfection. So the devotee, he wants to have this relationship with Krishna. So Krishna has a relationship with the devotee. One wants to just have the relationship with Krishna as um, being the order supplier. We pray to God, please give me this, please give me that, and he does that. Or one want to see him as the Paramatma. So Krishna shows that. Or one wants to become with him. So Krishna lets that. But the devotees, they want to have a reciprocal relationship with Krishna, personal relationship with Krishna. And Krishna does that. So as stated in Brahma Samhita 5.30, Venum Kwanantam Aravindatalaya Taksham Barahavatam Sham Asitam Buddhasundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept at playing on his flute, whose eyes are blooming like lotus petals, whose head is bedecked with peacock feathers, whose beauty is tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and whose unique loveliness charms millions of cupids. Thus, Lord Shiva's desire is to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is described in this way. That is, he wants to see him as he appears to the Bhagavatas, the devotees. So Lord Brahma is glorifying Krishna's form, and he says he is worshipping Govinda, who's playing on his flute. Eyes are like lotus petals. On his head he has peacock feathers. His form is like the color of blue clouds. He's more lovely than millions of cupids. So the conclusion is that Lord Shiva wants to see him in complete perfection and not in the impersonalist or voidist way. Although the Lord is one in his various forms, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadam, still his form as the young enjoyer of the gopis and companion of the cowherd boys, Kishora Murti, is the most perfect form. Thus Vaishnavas accept the form of the Lord in his Vrindavan pastimes as the chief form. So Krishna with the playing with the gopis, the gopas, the Navayovanam form. The devotees always want to see Krishna in this form, his Sham Sundar form, playing the flute. This is the most dear form to the devotees of Krishna. Snigdha pravrit kanashyamam
Snigdha pravritkana shamam
sarva saundarya sangraham
sarva saundarya sangraham
charva. I'm sorry, charva ayata chaturbahu
charva ayata chaturbahu
sujata ruchirananam
sujata ruchirananam
padmakosha palashaksham
padmakosha palashaksham
sundara bhrusunasikam
sundara brusunasikam
sudvijam sukha polasyam
sudvijam sukapolasyam
samakarna vibhushanam.
samakarna vibhushanam.
The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful, highly raised nose, a mind attracting smile, beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. After the scorching heat of the summer season, it is very pleasing to see dark clouds in the sky. It's true, it's been so hot here recently, and today
Oh,
it was
you there
raining.
one.
There was good clouds. I'm sorry, over
Yeah.
there also?
Yeah. It's very hot and then
Yeah.
it rained, thunderstorm. Suddenly
Um,
came.
then it feels
Suddenly I
so
was like,
pleasing, no? It gives like a
easy.
relief.
Yeah.
It's like a good relief. Yeah. So, so as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Varahavatamsham Asitam Buddham Sundaranga. The Lord wears a peacock feather in his hair, and his bodily complexion is just like a blackish cloud. The word Sundara or Snigdha means very pleasing. Now, this form of Krishna, we have to understand, is not a material form. The devotees, the great sages, the sadhus, they are not glorifying some material form. This form of Krishna is transcendental, is Satchidananda. And by understanding Krishna's form as Satchidananda, we can get liberation.
So the one with the 4 arms, it's Narayan, right? This is what
Yes,
say. Yeah.
yes. The 4 arms is Narayan form. Also very, very beautiful.
Mm.
Also very beautiful. But most beautiful, or more beautiful, is Krishna's
Oh,
form of Shamsundar.
Shamsundar.
The word Sundara or Snigdha means very pleasing. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya. Krishna's beauty is so pleasing that not even millions upon millions of cupids can compare to it. So Cupid captures our heart, but Krishna is more beautiful than millions of cupids. The Lord's form as Vishnu is decorated in all opulence. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to see that most opulent form of Narayan or Vishnu. Generally, the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayan or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Lord Krishna and Radha is most confidential. Lord Narayan is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipable by the Bhagavata Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavad Vidhi without going through the regulations of the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoined in the Narad Pancharatra. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by the neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship, according to regulative principles, is offered to Lakshmi Narayan. Although there may be a Radha Krishna Vigraha or form, the worship of the neophyte devotees is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayan worship. Worship according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marg, and worship according to the Bhagavad Vidhi principles is called Ragamarg. The principles of Ragamarg are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavan platform. So, the deity worship according to the Vidhi Marg, the regulative principles, the Vidhi, the regulative principles, is enjoined in the Narad Pancharatra, and this is the way to worship the deity of the Lord. So it may be a deity of Radha Krishna, but by worshipping according to the Vidhi Mark or according to the regulative principles, we are approaching Lakshmi Narayan. It's acceptable as worship of Lakshmi Narayan, although the deities are Radha Krishna, because the neophyte devotee cannot approach Radha Krishna. Worship Radha Krishna is on Ragamarg. Those who have already have this relationship with Krishna, those who have this who are following the Raga Bhaktas, the Ragatmika Bhaktas. There's that attachment, the natural attachment is there. So for
So
the
the Lakshmi Narayan
Brajvasis,
worship is accepted as neophyte devotees. They are
because
beginners,
we can,
right?
yeah, it's because it's difficult for us to approach Radha Krishna. Because one Radha Krishna can be approached only by the Braj Prem, by the Brajvasis. So even though we are worshipping Radha Krishna, when we are worshipping according to the regulative principles, it is actually accepted as worship of Lakshmi Narayan
Mm.
because it's all opulent, very opulent. All the regulative principles are there. And we cannot jump. Now, one may say, but Radha Krishna worship is higher, so I'm going to do Raga Bhakti and do this of worshipping the deity in the mood. But one has to actually have that. One cannot jump. One has to first come to this Pancharatrika Vidhi, and then one can uh, graduate, kind of. One can be elevated to the Vidhi, to the Bhagavad Vidhi, to the Ragama. Is that okay?
Yeah, so that means we are in the Pancharatrika Vidhi,
Yes. Yes, all the
correct?
temples.
Okay.
Yes, the temples, they follow this Pancharatrika Vidhi, worshipping the deity according to rules and regulations.
Mm.
That is enjoined in the scriptures that how one should worship the deity. At our stage, we have to do that. The
So who's
inhabitants
in
of
the Bhagavad Vidhi?
the Bhagavad Vidhi,
Be the
those who
pure
have got
devotees, huh?
pure devotees. Yeah, pure devotees who have also the mood of Vrindavan.
Mhm.
They are in that mood, Braj, in the mood of uh, the Brajbasis. Because one may be a pure devotee, but they may be in the mood of, for example, like Narad Muni. So,
Mhm.
right, Narad Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord, but he worships the Lord in awe and reverence.
Mhm.
But this Bhagavad Marg is for the those who have that mood of Braj Prem, Vrindavan, the mood of Vrindavan. Radha Krishna, the queen of king and queen of Vrindavan. So those who have that attachment to the mood of Vrindavan.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
The inhabitants of Vrindavan, the gopis, Mata Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd boys, the cows, and everyone else are actually on the Rag Marg or Bhagavad Marg platform. They
Mhm.
participate in 5 basic rasas: Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, and Shanta. But although these 5 rasas are found in the Bhagavad Marg, the Bhagavad Marg is especially meant for Vatsalya and Madhurya, or parental and conjugal relationships. Yet, there is the Vipralamba Sakhya, the higher fraternal worship of the Lord, especially enjoyed by the cowherd boys. Although there is friendship between Krishna and the cowherd boys, this friendship is different from the Aishwarya friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. When Arjuna saw the Vishwarup, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, he was afraid for having treated Krishna as an ordinary friend. Therefore, he begged Krishna's pardon. However, the cowherd boys, who are friends of Krishna and Vrindavan, sometimes ride on the shoulders of Krishna. They treat Krishna equally, just as they treat one another, and they are never afraid of him, nor do they ever beg his pardon. Thus, in the Rag Marg or Bhagavad Marg, friendship exists on a higher platform with Krishna, namely the platform of Vishramba friendship. Vishramba friendship. Parental friendship, parental service, and conjugal service are visible in the Vrindavan Rag Marg relationships. So, friendship is on um, different moods with Krishna. Arjuna's mood is more of awe and reverence. Like same like Uddhav. Uddhav also has friendship with Krishna, but his mood is more of a servant, more in the service mood. Of course, everyone is servant of Krishna, but which mood is more prominent? So, but the cowherd boys of Vrindavan, they they have that relationship with Krishna which is more sweeter. You know that with friends, how you can joke and laugh, the joking and laughing mood, playing together. Krishna carries them on his shoulders when Krishna loses in a game. But so we can see there's a different relationship with Uddhava and Krishna, or Arjuna and Krishna, and the Gopas and Krishna, although they are all in the same Sakyaras. So in this Vrindavan mood, there's more of sweetness, more personal.
So do you call this with uh,
Vipralamba
Vishramba?
friendship,
Yeah.
Vishramba. Yeah, we read up. Let's see what was that. Vipralamba Sakhya.
Vipralamba.
Sakhya. Vipralamba Sakhya. That's the cowherd boys. And then Prabhupada is pointing out that Rag Marg or Bhagavad Marg, it's on the platform of more on in this platform as these cowherd boys have, or parental friendship, parental service, and conjugal service. So in the higher rasas, the, the, the sweetness or the love is more condensed. Without serving
In,
Krishna according to the Vidhimarg regulative principles of the Pancharatrika Vidhi, unscrupulous persons want to jump immediately to the Ragamarg principles. Such persons are called Sahijya. No, Sahajya. 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 So one may say, okay, I want to go to the higher platform because sounds good, no? We always want to be on the most best. We want to be on the most best thing or best platform. But we cannot jump to that. We cannot, if we are not on that platform, we are not on that platform. We can't pretend to be on the platform. We have to begin with the Vidhimark, regulative principles, going according to the rules which are mentioned in the Pancharatrika Vidhi. There are also demons who enjoy depicting Krishna and his pastimes with the gopis, taking advantage of Krishna by their licentious character. These demons who print books and write lyrics on the rag mark principles are surely on the way to hell. So people who don't understand actually the relationship between Radha and Krishna, who don't have that mood, but yet are commenting. Because without understanding it, if we comment on it, we are misrepresenting it. Unfortunately, they lead others down with them. Devotees in Krishna consciousness should be very careful to avoid such demons. One should strictly follow the Vidhi Marg regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan, although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayan. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayan. So Prabhupada is saying better to follow the rules and regulations, not jump into this rag marg, where the attachment is not there. The what do you say? Um, like the instinctive attachment is not there. So better to follow rules and regulations. Oh, I'm supposed to do it like this. This is the way I'm supposed to worship the deity. This is what is written in the scriptures. This is the way to worship the deity, and let's follow what's mentioned in the scriptures. So even if the deity is Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan accept that worship. In the Nectar of Devotion, full instructions are given about the Vidhi Marg worship of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. Although there are 64 kinds of offenses one can commit in Vidhi Marg worship, in Rag Marg worship, there is no consideration of such offenses because the devotees on that platform are very much elevated and there is no question of offense. But if we do not follow the regulative principles on the Vidhimark platform and keep our eyes trained to stop offenses, we will not make progress. So, Prabhupada is giving us a word of caution not to jump, saying better follow the process. In Vidhimark, there are 64 offenses which need to be avoided in the worship of the deity. And in Rag Marg, there is no offenses because it's on the loving platform. The relationship is already there. So there is no question of offenses because it's coming from love. But we need to follow these regulative principles. We need to follow the Vidhi Marg so that we can make progress. In his description of Krishna's beauty, Lord Shiva uses the words char va yata chaturbahu sujata ruchirananam, indicating the beautiful four-armed form of Narayan or Vishnu. Those who worship Lord Krishna describe him as Sujata Ruchirananam. In the Vishnu Tattva, there are hundreds and thousands and millions of forms of the Supreme Lord. But of all these forms, the form of Krishna is the most beautiful. Thus, for those who worship Krishna, the word Sujata Ruchirananam is used. So Krishna's form is the most beautiful from even all the Narayan forms. And there are hundreds and millions of Narayan forms. Hundreds and thousands and millions. And Krishna's form is the most beautiful. The four arms of Lord Vishnu have different purposes. The hands holding a lotus flower and conch shell are meant for the devotees, whereas the other two hands holding a disc and mace or club are meant for the demons. Actually, all of the Lord's arms are auspicious, whether they are holding conch shells and flowers or clubs and discs. The demons killed by Lord Vishnu's chakra, disc, and club are elevated to the spiritual world, just like the devotees who are protected by the hands holding the lotus flower and conch shell. However, the demons who are elevated to the spiritual world are situated in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, whereas the devotees are allowed to enter into the Vaikuntha planets. Those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are immediately elevated to the Golok Vrindavan. So one may say, oh, Krishna is also giving liberation to the demons. So let me become a demon and get killed by Krishna. So yes, one will get liberation. One will get a place to be in the Brahmajyoti, the Brahman, but one cannot enter Golok Vrindavan. Only the devotees can enter Golok Vrindavan. The Lord's beauty is compared to rainfall because when the rain falls in the rainy season, it becomes more and more pleasing to the people. After the scorching heat of the summer season, the people enjoy the rainy season very much. Indeed, they even come out of their doors in the villages and enjoy the rainfall directly. And it feels nice, to get wet in the rain sometimes. So thus the Lord's bodily features are compared to the clouds of the rainy season. The devotees enjoy the Lord's beauty because it is a collection of all kinds of beauties. Therefore, the word Sarva Saundarya Sangraham is used. So Krishna's form is the most beautiful. He's the source of beauty. All the beauty that there is that we can find is in Krishna's form. And we have to understand this is not a material form, it's a transcendental form. It's not material beauty, it is spiritual beauty. That's the reason the scriptures are speaking about it. So there are so many beautiful things or beautiful persons in this world, and all of them are getting the beauty from Krishna because Krishna is beautiful. That's the reason beauty exists in this world. No one can say that the body of the Lord is wanting in beautiful parts. It is completely purna. Everything is complete. God's creation, God's beauty, and God's bodily features. All these are so complete that all one's desires can become fully satisfied when one sees the beauty of the Lord. By seeing the beauty of the Lord, all the desires can become fulfilled. That's how beautiful He is. The word Sarva Saundarya indicates that there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual worlds, and that the Lord contains all of them. Both materialists and spiritualists can enjoy the beauty of the Lord because the Supreme Lord attracts everyone, including demons and devotees, materialists and spiritualists. He is called Krishna, the most attractive. Krishna attracts everyone. So he's called Krishna, most attractive. Similarly, his devotees also attract everyone. As mentioned in the Shad Goswami Stotra, Dhira Dhira Jana Priya. The Goswamis are equally dear to Dhira, devotees, and Adhira, demons. Lord Krishna was not very pleasing to the demons when he was present in Vrindavan, but the six Goswamis were pleasing to the demons when they were present in Vrindavan. That is the beauty of the Lord's dealing with his devotees. Sometimes the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. For instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna fought simply by giving directions. Yet it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. You, O Savyasachi, Arjuna, can be but an instrument in the fight. Bhagavad Gita 11.33. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to Arjuna. Similarly, in the Krishna consciousness movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya, but the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere servants. Thus, the Lord is described herein as Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Krishna is the source of all beauty. All beauty exists in Krishna's form. Beauty exists in the world because Krishna is beautiful. And Krishna gives credit to his devotees as he is given credit to Arjuna. Arjuna is the hero of the Kurukshetra war. Arjuna is fighting under the directions of Krishna. Similarly, the Krishna consciousness movement is inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya. It's Lord Chaitanya's movement. And it's happening according to this prediction that it is spreading everywhere. Lord Chaitanya predicted that the holy name will be chanted in all the towns and villages of the world. And we can see how his prediction came true. As Srila Prabhupada's service, he spread this holy name everywhere in the world. Did you want to comment or add anything?
Quite clear, yeah.
Priti Prahasitapangam
Priti Prahasitapangam
Lake Rupashobhitam
Alake Rupashobhitam
Lasat Pankaja Kinjalka
Lasat Pankaja Kinchalka
Dukulam Rishta Kundalam
Dukulam Nishtakundalam
Surat Kirita Valayam
Purat Kirita Valaya
Aranupura Mekhalam
Haranupurame
Shankha Chakra Gada Padma
Shankha Chakra Gada Padma
Mala Mani Uttamardhima.
Mala Mani Uttamadhimat.
The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and his sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly, and his garments, waving in the wind, appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garland, ankle bells, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments combine with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kaustuba pearl on his chest. The word Prahasita Panka, referring to Krishna's smile and sidelong glances at his devotees, specifically applies to his dealings with the gopis. Krishna is always in a joking mood when he increases the feelings of conjugal rasa in the hearts of the gopis. The conch shell, club, disc, and lotus flower can be either held in his hands or seen on the palms of his hands. Krishna's palms also have these auspicious markings. Even like on his lotus feet, there's these auspicious markings on them. According to palmistry, the signs of a conch shell, club, lotus flower, and disc mark the palms of great personalities and especially indicate the supreme personality of Godhead. You know how we have these lines on our palms and feet. Krishna has this conch shell club, lotus flower, and this and other symbols also. Simha Skanda Tvisho Bibra
Simha Skanda Tvisho Biprat
Saubhaga Griva Kaustubham
Saubhaga Griva Kaustubham
Shriya Napayin Ya Shipta
Shriyana Payindya Shipta
Nikar Shash Moraso Lasat.
Nikashashmora Solasar.
The Lord has shoulders just like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets. And all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kaustuba Manipur. And on the dark chest of the Lord, there are streaks named Srivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. The curling hair on the shoulders of a lion always appears very beautiful. Similarly, the shoulders of the Lord were just like a lion's, and the necklace and garlands, along with the Kaustuba pearl necklace, combine to excel the beauty of a lion. The chest of the Lord is streaked with Srivatsa lines, the sign of the goddess of fortune. So Lakshmi Devi always resides on the chest of the Lord in this. It's like a white curling hair, Srivatsa. Consequently, the Lord's chest excels the beauty of a testing stone for gold. The black siliceous stone on which the gold is rubbed to test its value always looks very beautiful, being streaked with gold lines. Yet the chest of the Lord excels even such a stone in its beauty. So the comparison is given. It seems there is a stone, black stone, which you test the gold. So the gold streaks are there on the black and it looks beautiful. No? Gold and black streaks looks nice. Even when we see in some print or some fabric or whatever. Um, but here it says that, oh, the Lord's chest looks more beautiful than this. So Lord Shiva is describing Krishna's beauty. He's glorifying Krishna's beauty. So we can see that the subject matter of Krishna is of the highest transcendentness. Pura rechaka samvigna
Pura Rechaka Sambhigna
vali valgudalodaram
Mali Valgudalodaram
prati sankramayad vishwam
Prati Sankramayat Vishwam
nabhaya varta gabiraya.
Na Nabhyat Vartagat Viraya.
The Lord's abdomen is beautiful due to three ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree. And when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appear very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and yet again wishes to go back. The whole universe is born out of the lotus stem which sprouted from the navel of the Lord. Lord Brahma sat on the top of this lotus stem to create the whole universe. The navel of the Lord is so deep and coiling that it appears that the whole universe again wants to withdraw into the navel, being attracted by the Lord's beauty. So it's very beautiful poetry also. No?
Yeah.
The navel, the lotus flower is coming, and the navel is so deep, looks like the whole universe wants to enter into its beauty. The Lord's navel and the ripples on his belly always increase the beauty of his bodily features. The details of the bodily features of the Lord especially indicate the personality of Godhead. Impersonalists cannot appreciate the beautiful body of the Lord which is described in these prayers by Lord Shiva. Although the impersonalists are always engaged in the worship of Lord Shiva, they are unable to understand the prayers offered by Lord Shiva to the bodily beauty or bodily features of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is known as Shiva Rinchi Nutam Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 33, for he is always worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So God has a form and it is so beautiful as is being described by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma always worshipping the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal form. Shama Shoni Adi Rochishnu
Shama Shroni Adirochishnu
Dukula Swarna Mekhala
Dukula Swarnamekalam
Samachar Angri Jangoru
Samachar Angrija Jangoru
Nimna Janu Sudarshanam.
Nimna Janu Sudarshanam.
The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments, and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. Lord Shiva is one of the 12 great authorities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, Text 20. These authorities are Swayambhu, Narad, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Janak, Bhishma, Bali, Vayasaki or Sukadev Goswami, and Yamaraj. The impersonalists who generally worship Lord Shiva should learn of the transcendental Sachidananda Vigraha of the Lord. Here, Lord Shiva kindly describes the details of the Lord's bodily features. Thus, the impersonalist argument that the Lord has no form cannot be accepted under any circumstance. So we can hear from the authorities. Lord Shiva is one of the authority, one of the Vachan, and he is beautifully, beautifully describing the form of God, and is so beautiful. We understand that the form of God is Sachidananda, not material, is transcendental, is eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. Okay, then let's stop here for today because this is a bit longer.
Long, yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, just like the description, the way Lord Shivana is glorifying. How beautiful, na? Yes. So, imagine millions of qubits. Also, there's no comparison to Krishna's form.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how beautiful he actually is. We cannot even imagine. We can
When we
just
see,
try to imagine with these descriptions. I'm sorry?
yeah, no, I'm saying when we see the nature, like we go to places and we say it's so beautiful. Imagine how so beautiful Krishna is. Is much more, right?
Yeah, I know. And we do so many things to make ourselves look beautiful, isn't
Beautiful,
it?
but there's no,
We do
yeah.
put makeup, I don't know what not we do. We do
Mm.
this or that to look beautiful. Krishna doesn't have to go to the parlor, sit in the parlor for hours and hours, or do the treatments.
And
He's
his
natural.
internal potency also, Radharani is the most beautiful, right?
Yeah, yeah, that she attracts him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's so
yeah.
beautiful that she attracts also him.
Mm.
So, so he's the origin of all beauty. And it
Yeah.
was said, we just read that by seeing him, when one sees him, all one's desires can be satisfied. Just by seeing Krishna, one can feel, oh, all my desires are fulfilled. Just imagine.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and enjoying it, for your
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful contribution. Shla Prabhupada ki jai.
Vijay.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur
Vijay.
Bhaktavinda ki jai.